Good morning, squad. Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, episode 59. Happy Turkey Day. Happy Thursday. Hope y'all have a great day today. Enjoy the food, the football, the family, and the friends. We got a great rundown today. We're going to start it off touching on Zach Wilson being out as the starter. Is he done in the NFL after this benching? Will they ever recover Zach Wilson? Ben Simmons returned to Philadelphia, losing 115-106. We got to break that down. Was it underwhelming? Ben Simmons returned to Philadelphia. Then we touching on the update of the Michigan State players and the fallout of the melee that happened in the Michigan tunnel at the Big House on October 29th, where Michigan players were assaulted by Michigan State players. Giving y'all an update on that, giving y'all the MadMizzy power rankings of the top 5 teams in the NFL right now. And then we're going to end it off breaking down the Turkey Day football games of the Bills at the Lions, Giants at the Cowboys, Pats at the Vikings. Let's get into it, gang. I couldn't get y'all an episode yesterday because it sounded like a construction site outside because they must be renovating my apartment building. They back this morning, so I got to get this joint done ASAP. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get right into it. So, hey, listen, let's touch on the Zach Wilson being out as the starter. For me, I'm not going to say that Zach Wilson is done in the NFL. I do think that they can recover Zach Wilson. I feel like they benched Zach Wilson to recover Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, after that, it's reported that he went into the locker room and then finally apologized to the team for his comments after the Sunday loss to the New England Patriots. To me, he's just immature and young. You got to think about it. He's 22 years old. He comes from money. He's making his own money. You dang sure he walking around with his chest out and feeling like he's different. You feel what I'm saying? Not only that, these dudes, like they already feel alienated as quarterbacks. Then he's a quarterback that's coming from a well-off situation. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a tough dynamic that Zach Wilson is trying to juggle while being in New York. So for me, you look at a few different circumstances with quarterbacks in the NFL where they've been benched early and they recover their spark later on in their career. So I see that being possible for Zach Wilson. The man is super talented. So for real, this is a question of his heart right now. Does he really want this? Because you do come from money. You do come from a situation where you can walk away from this game and be set for life. Do you want to be a great football player? And I feel like that is a great question for Robert Saleh to ask Zach Wilson at this point in time. And it's a great opportunity for Zach Wilson to show up and step up and say, yo, I do want to be a leader of this team. I do want to be a quarterback in the NFL. And he has to mature into that. You're not just leading a group of men. You're leading a group of 53 different men from 53 different aspects of life. You can't just be a leader of certain men. You can't just be a leader of some men. They saying he wasn't even a leader at all. He wasn't a captain in college. That's a red flag. But you have to be a leader of all men when you play in the NFL. So for me, I think Zach Wilson has to look at this as an opportunity to find himself and go out there and prove the doubters wrong. Find that spark. Let's move on. Ben Simmons returned to Philadelphia. What was that, Wednesday night? Was it underwhelming? To me, you look at it, the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Brooklyn Nets 115-106 on Wednesday night. And to me, it was very underwhelming. They booed him a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as intense as you thought it was going to be. When you think about the hype around Ben Simmons coming back, the last time we seen him, he was folding in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. We could have went to the finals that year, this, that, and the third. And for them to come out there, and they took it easy. And I'm going to say this. That was a brilliant decision by a very ignorant fan base in Philadelphia. Philadelphia doesn't care about nothing. You get what I'm saying? They come out there, they going to go out there, they going to show their passion. But I felt like they were a little bit cognitive of who was on the floor this time around and who wasn't on the floor. When you think about, there wasn't no Joel Embiid, there was no James Harden, there was no Tyrese Maxey. So you can't go out there, yeah, Ben, you bumming it. Of course you're going to see shirts here, you're going to hear the boos, but they're not going to go nearly as hard because they don't have their dogs to back it up. You're not going to come out there all super hyped knowing that most of your muscle was out. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna be a little bit more cautious because you know you ain't got Joel Embiid. You know you don't have James Harden. You know you don't have Tyrese Maxey. So you can't go out there and give fuel to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to come out there and bust y'all you know what. Because they had come out there and do it without a blink of an eye. And then you look at it, Kyrie Irving, 23-2-2. He was the high scorer for that game. KD, 25-5. I felt like Kevin Durant was probably the most disappointing star out of that whole thing. And then Ben had a good game, 11-7, 11 assists in that game. So to me, I think like the Brooklyn Nets came in and they didn't view it the same way they viewed it when they came in last year, where Kyrie Irving wanted to spank on James Harden and then they wanted to just have Ben Simmons back so much and he wasn't on the floor. So I felt like it was just a totally different dynamic and it didn't live up to the hype at all. Let's move on. Let's move on to the fallout of the incident in the tunnel with the Michigan State Wolverines and the Michigan State Michigan State Spartans post-game of their October 29th game, and Kerry Crump being charged with felonious assault with 6 other players that are being charged with not being charged with felony charges, but Kerry Crump is being charged with felonious assault for hitting Gaymon Green with the helmet. I feel like that's, you know what I'm saying, expected. You get caught clearly on video swinging a helmet, connecting with another player. That's a felony assault. You know how hard a helmet is. You know a helmet being swung at full force up against a skull is a damaging weapon. And you still chose to do that over a football game. You have to take the responsibility and you have to accept the consequences for your action. That's as simple as it gets. I'm glad that the police department got into it, and I'm glad those players got charged so that they can see that there's consequences to their actions. Some of these players may make it to the NFL. They may have millions of dollars at their disposal. They have to realize that you don't get a pass just because you're an athlete in America. A lot of these dudes, when they're in high school, they get passes. So they got to realize once they get into these Power 5, these power colleges, that you can't do the same stuff you was doing in college, bro. You can't. You can't do the same stuff you was doing in high school. Then if you make it to the pros, you can't do the same stuff you was doing in college. It's a maturity level at every level you have to graduate to. You get what I'm saying? Just like we were saying with Zach Wilson. It comes back down to college. You get what I'm saying? So let's move on to the MadMizzy NFL power rankings of the top 5 teams in the NFL right now. Let's start off at number 5. At number 5, I got the Dallas Cowboys. Why do I have the Dallas Cowboys at number 5 so high up? To me, I wanted to put them a little bit higher, but I had to give a little bit more respect to teams that either proven something in the playoffs or had better records. So I just wanted to put the Cowboys at number 5. You can't deny how they looked last Sunday, going 40-3 against the Minnesota Vikings. Just beautiful, dominating win, complimentary football all over the place, and Kirk Cousins couldn't breathe anywhere. That man couldn't breathe. But at number 4, I got my San Francisco 49ers. Why do I have my San Francisco 49ers ahead of the Dallas Cowboys? Not because I believe that our win over the Arizona Cardinals was more impressive than their win over the Minnesota Vikings. It's simply because we beat them in the playoffs in Dallas last year, in Jerry's world. That's why. Why would I pick the Dallas Cowboys over my San Francisco 49ers when we're the number 1 seed in the NFC West right now, and the Dallas Cowboys are still the number 2 seed in the NFC East right now? So therefore, if we do face each other in the playoffs, they come into Santa Clara and they facing that run game, that ground and pound game. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to still take my San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not nearly as good as Trey Lance, over the Dallas Cowboys right now. At number 3, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at 7-3. I'm not going to hold it against them that they were on a bye last week. To me, every time I look at them, they're scoring the ball, they're moving the ball, they're looking dominant. So I want to argue against these dudes so much. Y'all don't realize how much I want to say Tua Tagovailoa is not the guy. This man has been playing out of his mind this year, and every time I watch them, they're moving the ball. It could be 3rd and 12. He finding Tyreek Hill. He finding Jalen Waddle. He finding Mike Gesicki. Like, damn! I got to get props where props is due, so give me the Miami Dolphins at the number 3 spot. At the number 2 spot, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-1. Just great team. I did not like their last performance against the Indianapolis Colts, but I do want to say this. I think Jeff Saturday is turning the Indianapolis Colts around. They're getting back into a running team. They got Matt Ryan back into the game. I like what I'm saying from the Indianapolis Colts, so I don't think it's a lot that dealt with the Philadelphia Eagles. And not only that, when you're at the top of the mountaintop, you just got to find a way to stay at the top. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the Eagles did this past Sunday. They found a way to stay at the top, and I got to give props where props are due. Philadelphia Eagles at number 2, and at number 1, I got to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs, 8-2, number 1 seed in the AFC right now. If they get home field advantage, if they get the number 1 seed in the AFC, I don't see them not making it to the Super Bowl just because it's 2 wins in Kansas City. That's Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Travis Kelce. You're not stopping it. You're not stopping it. Book the Super Bowl if they get that number 1 seed for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my opinion. That's MadMizzy Sports Power Rankings, top NFL teams in the game right now. So let's move on to the Turkey Day games. Let's start off with the Bills at Lions. To me, this is the one upset of the game of the day. I'm gonna go with the Lions in this game. You think about the Bills; they lost 2 of their last 3 games. I didn't like their last game against the Browns, even though it was in Detroit. I still didn't think that it was the Buffalo Bills. And I feel like in the last 3 games, they haven't shown up to be the Buffalo Bills. And I feel like the Lions are rounding into form, winning 2 straight games in a row. Crazy run game. I feel like they'll run the ball, keep the ball away from Josh Allen, and pull out a win 24-21 in Detroit on Thanksgiving. I don't remember the last time I seen Detroit win a game on Thanksgiving, but I got Detroit today in the upset win over the Buffalo Bills. Let's move on to the Giants at Cowboys. Giants just got beat on by the Detroit Lions. What was that? With 31-18, and it wasn't even that close. And you think about the Dallas Cowboys, they just smacked the Minnesota Vikings 40-3 across their mouth this past Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to say that Daniel Jones is going to be under harassment from Micah Parsons and that defense all night. And I feel like it's going to be just ground, pound, and play action with CeeDee Lamb, with Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott, and Ezekiel Elliott. That offense to me is just super explosive. It's not my San Francisco 49ers offense, but I love Dak Prescott a lot more than I love Jimmy Garoppolo, so I love the Dallas Cowboys in tonight's game. I'm going to say 34-17 Dallas Cowboys, and let's move on to the nightcap of the New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots in this game because you got Kirk Cousins in a primetime matchup. Thursday Night Football. What have I said the past few weeks? We have to see Kirk Cousins do it in a primetime game. Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. It is Thursday night. Show up, Kirk. And you just got beat on by the Dallas Cowboys. Please show up. Show us that you are different and that you can perform in these high-level situations. I'm going to go with the Patriots, though, in a close one, 17-13, New England Patriots. This is MadMizzy Sports Morning Show. Happy Turkey Day. Enjoy the family, football, friends, and food, man. Y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think, though. Is Zach Wilson done after being benched by the New York Jets? Was the return of Ben Simmons to Philadelphia underwhelming? What do y'all think of the update of the 7 Michigan State players being charged, one being charged with a felony assault for the incident that happened on October 29th at the Big House in the Tunnel post-game of the Michigan State football game? Then let me know what y'all think of my MadMizzy power rankings of the top 5 NFL teams in the game right now, and tell me who y'all got in the Bills at Lions, Giants at Cowboys, Patriots at Vikings. MizzyWorld Entertainment, MadMizzy Sports. Like, comment, share, subscribe, listen, alert, gang.